This is Motoring Today, the Philippines' premier and longest-running weekly motor news and features TV and online magazine. I am Ray Louis Gamboa.
And I am Tin Gamboa. Here are this week's features to watch out for.
On Motoring Forum, we shall discuss the light rail transit system's accessibility for PWDs. Our road safety reminder on the Young Street Smarts portion centers on the following a traffic enforcer signal in an intersection. This week's Payong Chuper shall be the importance of respecting pedestrians. Showcase this week shall have the compact SUV from Hyundai, the Tucson. While for race weekend, we shall have the highlights of the 2023 iAIM Series Philippines Round 1.
All these plus the latest news in transportation and traffic management, as well as developments in the automotive industry, are on this week's episode of Motoring Today. Join us.
Mitsubishi Xpander Cross. Cross the current.
Life should be filled with stories. To be liked and loved. Elevate your drive with the new Honda City. Take value and performance to the next level, so you can view more places and check into new experiences. With Honda Sensing, you can do all these with peace of mind, with its modern design and advanced features. The new Honda City is for those who are ready to step up their game. The new Honda City. Elevate your drive.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. Here now are the latest news and developments in the country's transportation and traffic management. The MMDA should have expected this. No stakeholders, cyclists, or motorcycle riders would agree to shared exclusive lanes on EDSA.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority will no longer pursue the idea of segregating one full lane on EDSA to be shared by cyclists and motorcycle riders. In a press conference following a meeting with cycling advocates and motorcycle rider groups to discuss the proposal, MMDA Chairman Romando Artes said both groups rejected the idea of widening bike lanes on EDSA and sharing them. The MMDA earlier said that the bike lanes on EDSA were underutilized as only an average of 1,000 cyclists use them daily compared to around 165,000 motorcycle riders using the major thoroughfare daily. Both cycling and motorcycle groups agreed sharing lanes is dangerous as bicycles are lighter and travel at lower speeds compared to motorcycles. Both groups also want to have respective exclusive lanes on EDSA. Artes indicated that following opposition from both groups, the MMDA will be pursuing other ideas for easing traffic congestion on EDSA and protecting cyclists. One proposal being studied is constructing elevated walkways and bike lanes.
The thing about assigning exclusive lanes for motorcycles, bicycles, and even buses, from past and present experience, is that it's difficult or next to impossible to enforce the policy. Few motorists are disciplined enough to follow traffic regulations. Meanwhile, nothing suggests everything is back to normal after the pandemic better than public transport again running at or near full capacity. The LRT2 is a good example.
Around 23.17 million people rode on the Light Rail Transit Line 2 on the first 6 months of the year. According to a Philstar Global report, this is more than double the 11.21 million recorded as having taken the LRT2 during the same period last year. In March, around 85.61 million people rode on the LRT2, the highest monthly ridership recorded since September of 2019, when 110.88 million used the line. As of June this year, the LRT2 trains are operating at 73.3% capacity. The report also said that the LRT2 doubled their revenue from ticket collections from 234.95 million pesos in the first half of 2022 to 476.14 million pesos in the same period this year. The LRT2 projects earnings from ticket sales to reach 1.09 billion pesos by the end of this year, which would surpass the 1.07 billion collected in 2019. The Light Rail Transit Authority said the LRT2 revenue could rise to 1.07 billion pesos if it was allowed to immediately collect the new rates approved by the Department of Transportation last April. President Marcos had deferred implementation of the approved fare increase until recently. The LRT2 began charging the new rates only on August 2.
The LRT2 has plans to extend the line east and west. It needs to improve revenue collections to pursue the plans. Continuing, overloaded trucks are known to cause roads to deteriorate faster. It's a concern for the NLEX Corporation as well as local governments of Pampanga and Bulacan.
NLEX Corporation and the local government units of Pampanga and Bulacan have raised concerns over the overloaded trucks causing damage to paved surfaces of the North Luzon Expressway and other thoroughfares. Representatives from NLEX and the LGUs met with officials of the Department of Public Works and Highways and the Board of Investments. The meeting discussed proposals to install and operate more weighbridge stations, including portable weighing machines at strategic sites on national roads. Also discussed were revisions to the implementing rules and regulations of Republic Act 8794, also known as the act imposing a motor vehicle user's charge on owners of all types of motor vehicles and for other purposes. During the meeting, it was agreed that the revisions should include new truck classifications and updated computation of the gross vehicle weight to include dimensions of the trucks. Also to be revisited are penalties imposed on overloaded trucks passing through national roads. NLEX said heavy trucks carrying sand traversing the tollway that were weighed exceeded the permissible axle load limit and GVW as prescribed under RA 8794.
One question that needs answering is, have authorities been strictly enforcing regulations against overloading of trucks? Revisions to regulations won't solve anything if they are not enforced. And finally, the NLEX and the DPWH have identified why a segment of the tollway in San Simon, Pampanga is easily flooded during heavy rains. Both are moving to resolve the problem.
NLEX Corporation is fast-tracking the elevation of the portion of the North Luzon Expressway in San Simon that easily floods during heavy rains, causing monstrous traffic jams in the tollway. In a press statement, NLEX said it expects to complete preliminary work for raising the 200-meter segment of the tollways underneath the Tulaok overpass. NLEX President Jose Luigi L. Bautista said the company aims to complete the project as soon as possible with minimal disruption to motorists using the tollway. The work will include completion of the detailed engineering design for the pavement raising on both north and southbound lanes of the 200-meter portion under the Tulaok overpass and the design for the flood walls. NLEX said it will also work to raise the pavement of the San Simon ramp and improve the drainage system in the area. At the same time, the NLEX asked the Department of Public Works and Highways to raise the Tulaok overpass so that it can elevate problematic portion of the NLEX in San Simon.
NLEX promises to complete the project with the least amount of inconvenience to motorists. That can only mean motorists should brace for some inconvenience. And those are the latest news and developments in transportation and traffic management. Coming up next is Motoring Forum, brought to you by Suzuki Philippines. The daily commute using light rail transit systems is daunting enough for people who have all their physical faculties. How more daunting can it be for those persons with disabilities? Motoring Forum addresses this question.
Online news website Rappler, along with accessibility group Kasali Tayo and inclusive mobility group Move as One Coalition, conducted a walkthrough at all stations and terminals of the various light rail transit systems in Metro Manila, LRT-1, LRT-2, and the MRT-3. The objective was to find out how the Metro's commuter rail services serve persons with disabilities, or PWDs, those with hearing impairments, those who are visually impaired, and people who move around in wheelchairs. The walkthrough was undertaken unannounced and without the knowledge of the train system's management. What the walkthrough found out was not good for PWDs who wish, in Rappler's words, to travel safely, independently, and with dignity using the Metro's commuter train network. The list of findings is troubling. 80% of train stations lack fully accessible entrances for persons with disabilities. 67% of train stations had working elevators but were difficult to access for PWDs. 40% of stations lack comfort rooms for PWDs, and many of the existing ones were locked or used for other purposes, or were difficult to access or find. 43% of trains and stations provided insufficient public announcements about approaching trains and safety reminders. Other findings include inadequate or inconsistent tactile flooring to guide people with visual impairments. Only 3 of 46 stations had sufficient network of tactile flooring. No ticket vending machines that have tactile buttons, braille and text-to-speech functions. The floor of train carriages of LRT-1 line was higher than the floor of the platform. Maintenance of stations to protect persons with disabilities was also found severely wanting. Overall, the walkthrough discovered what Rappler described as systemic shortcomings in Metro Manila's train networks, which it said boiled down to 2 problems: lack of policies and shortcomings in implementation. Rappler also noted the Metro trains' lack of consistency and predictability, especially with regards to making the trains and stations accessible and safe for PWDs. So how can this problem be solved and the train systems be made more accessible and safer for all PWDs? The basis for PWD facilities in train stations and most other infrastructure and buildings nationwide is Batas Pambansa Bilang 344 and its implementing rules and regulations, which has not been updated since 1994. Rappler reported that a new IRR for BP 344 has already been crafted and endorsed to the heads of the Department of Public Works and Highways and Department of Transportation for approval and subsequent implementation. New policies for PWD inclusive mobility have also been proposed and incorporated into an executive order submitted for signing by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Senator Raffy Tulfo has also filed Senate Bill No. 1700 seeking to amend the accessibility law. The Move as One coalition is advocating the creation of a commuter's welfare office and a commuter bill of rights. There is a need for people to lobby and pressure government, both legislative and executive departments, to fast-track or facilitate legislation, formulate policies, and enforce laws and regulations that would benefit PWDs and their welfare.
While there is a need to update policies and regulations to make lives better, easier, and more inclusive for PWDs, what laws there are should be strictly implemented and enforced. That's our Morning Forum this week, courtesy of Suzuki Philippines.
At the core of Toyota Gazoo racing lies motorsports DNA. Combine that with the Philippines' best-selling sedan, you get the Vios GRS. Its black accent details and aero kit upgrade capture the feel and excitement on the track, and the 10-speed CVT that exudes the TGR competitive spirit. On the road or on the track, always be ready for a heart-racing, exhilarating ride. The Vios GRS. Bring on the thrill.
The new Mitsubishi Xpander Cross. Cross the current.
You are back with us here on Motoring Today, and we now have this week's important motoring tips. Starting off with some road safety reminders from Toyota Motor Philippines.
Traffic enforcers are usually found on busy intersections. Maging ikaw ay pedestrian or driver, always be respectful of them at maghintay ng signal na galing sa kanila.
Continuing with this week's edition of Morning Today, let's now focus on proper driver's demeanor, especially for those driving PUVs. Here's Paying Chuper this week.
Payong Chuper lang, kaibigan. Ako po si Ka Jojo Martin, isang kapwa nyo, Chuper. Bigyang prioridad ang mga pedestrian.
Matutong magbigay daan sa mga tumatawid na pedestrian, lalo na sa mga bata at matatanda. Tumigil sandali at huwag magmadali. Maging mapagpasensya upang makaiwas na rin sa disgrasya. Siguraduhin na buo ang iyong atensyon sa pagmamaneho at sa lahat ng nasa paligid mo.
Bukod sa iyong mga pasahero, huwag ring kalimutang irespeto ang mga tao sa labas ng sasakyan. Ito po si Ka Jojo Martin, Payong Chuper lang, kaibigan, mula sa isang kapwa nyo Chuper.
The new Mitsubishi Expander Cross. Cross the current.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. World of Motorsports is next.
In motorsports news, novice Jose Carlo Ocampo dominated round 8 of the 2023 Philippine Autocross Championship Series, topping 4 categories: overall, open, novice, and the special DBS class, commemorating the memory of the late great PAX founder, Danilo "Danny B. Santiago. Coming in second in the overall category was Glenn Del Cuento, just edging Arnold Javier in third. Cuento and Javier also ended up second and third, respectively, among all novices. Paolo Batangatang was second best in the open category, dropping Bobby Rabe down to third. Arnold Javier rose to second in DBS category, handily beating Paolo Batangatang, who finished third.
More on the world of motorsports here on Motoring Today, as we now give you Race Weekend. Race Weekend takes us to the Pampanga International Circuit for round 1 of the 2023 IAMA Series Philippines. Here are the highlights of 2 days of karting action at the purpose-built motor racing and karting venue at Alvera, Porac, Pampanga.
My son Max Trinidad is racing in the Yame series. No? They have a Philippine series now. No? Basically, the Yame series is in Malaysia. They brought it to a bigger, wider scene, no? Which what they're trying to do is the Yame Asia series, which they'll have one in Malaysia, Singapore. I think they're targeting also Indonesia. So now we have Philippines. No? This year also, we'll have the finals for that series, the Yame series, here in the Pampanga International Circuit, where City Karts is. Max has been racing since last year, no? So basically he's a year and a half doing this. No? We got into it because we saw something different in him. No? I guess he really likes it, so the focus was very different, no, for a child. No? Growing up, parang it was very hard to see his focus. So parang when we got into this, we saw things change. No? And then the competitive level, he was seeing it, he was enjoying it, and then the camaraderie with the people there also, he enjoyed it. No? Actually, it's really nice to see. You see karters from different places and different teams, and then you see them all getting along. And what I really find really nice with our series and the people that we race with, and the people organizing it, it's a very different atmosphere. Parang they're really teaching how the kids to race properly. Basically, we know there's a lot of incident in karting and mga touch, But here, they're really educating kids that you can race by lessening the accident, by you guys by touching, by you guys giving space to one another. So I see a big difference also in the organizing and also the kids learning from it. So Max is currently in the Bambino category. His next level is the cadet. We've been talking about it. He really wants to jump into the cadet. Basically, it's preparing myself also for funding him. Kasi the next level it gets serious. The kid has to be serious also because it's serious money also coming in. And our plans is to stay with the City Karts group, because I think their program of the Yame series and the guys from City Karts is okay. I think if Max will do well, yes, we will probably do that. We'll probably do the others also. Cause, I guess we're on the right track, with this group. Since this group has been really been there for a long time. I'll share another thing. The guy who is heading the Yame series, which is James, he raced with the Senna, Ayrton Senna back then. So imagine the connection on how the circles of these guys are. For my son Max, mommy and daddy loves you so much, and we're trying our best to support the things that you like and just do well, not just with karting but also with school and all the other things that you are supposed to. Respect everybody, respect Lola, Lolo, and mommy and daddy, and we always love you. We all love you.
Local karting is alive and well, thanks to venues like the Pampanga International Circuit, also known as City Kart Racing Pampanga, where motorsports enthusiasts, young and old, can learn or hone their driving skills. And that's this week's World of Motorsports. We'll be back after this short break.
Isuzu D-Max.
I'm a revolution.
Into new heights.
The new Mitsubishi Expander Cross. Cross the current.
Our car of the week is next on Showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantee. This showcase takes a look at the Tucson, Hyundai's entry to the local compact SUV segment.
It's now difficult to stand out in a very crowded compact SUV segment. Some do it with looks. Others offer practicality and utility. More promise comfort and convenience. Many tout advanced driver assist and safety features. Most offer all these in varying degrees to reach targeted buyers for their SUVs at attractive price points. Where does the all-new Tucson fit the crowded compact SUV market? Hyundai brought in the all-new Tucson after it has already reaped accolades and rave reviews and achieved some success in other markets overseas. Hyundai sought to reap the same success locally, bringing in two variants of the all-new Tucson, the 2.0 CRDI GLS Plus 8 automatic transmission and the 2.0 GLS 6 AT. At 4,630mm long, 1,865mm wide, and 1,665mm tall, with a 181mm ground clearance and 2,075mm long wheelbase, the latest generation Tucson can easily stand out among competitors with its sharply delineated character lines. 3D parametric style grille with jewel-like surfaces in dark chrome beefy fenders with what Hyundai describes as angulated wheel arches. Both the 19-inch alloy rims of the GLS Plus and the 18-inch alloy rims of the GLS also stand out when compared to those on the competition. Quite notable in the Tucson is how the LED daytime running lights seem to be part of the grille, only visible once turned on. The turn indicator lights also get the same ingenious parametric lighting treatment. The multi-phase reflector headlamps are framed at the ends of the bumper. They come with auto light function. The rear combination light design uses the same principles as in the front to come up with a distinctive, instantly recognizable look for the new Tucson. Also notable is how Hyundai seemingly incorporated its logo into the rear glass window while ingeniously hiding the wipers under the rear spoiler with high-mount stoplight. Other exterior features include body-colored outside rear mirrors that are heated and power fold and come with turn signals, rear fog lamps, roof rails. While it may be too bold for some taste, it can't be denied that Tucson will stand out on the road and even just parked. Bold may not be the word that comes to mind when describing the Tucson interior. Elegant, minimalist, posh may be better. Also, roomy, as it can sit 5 adults comfortably in leather-upholstered seats. The driver's seat on the GLS Plus power adjusts and features lumbar support. The driver's seat is well bolstered. The leather-covered steering wheel manually tilts and telescopes and comes with buttons and switches for the audio as well as cruise control. Hyundai describes the dash design concept as akin to a waterfall, everything falling smoothly down. The instrument cluster is displayed on what looks like a freestanding 10.25-inch tablet. Hyundai also attempts to integrate the infotainment display and automatic air conditioning display and controls into one smooth and clutter-free front console. Most controls done by touch on the display except for power and audio volume and tune file controls that use scroll wheels and the temperature mode controls which use toggle switches. The use of multi-air vents cools the cabin more evenly. The infotainment system comes with an 8-inch touchscreen display, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, customizable voice recognition, 6 speakers that include 2 tweeters, and Bluetooth. Charging ports include wireless charger and 2 charging USB ports. There is also a 12-volt accessory socket. Standard comfort and convenience features include starts with smart key and push-button start and include overhead console with lamp, room and mood lamps, sun visors with mirror and illumination, center console with cup holders, power windows and door locks, luggage net and screen. Hyundai brought in 2 Tucson variants, the GLS Plus powered by a SmartStream D2.0 1998cc diesel engine, generating 186 PS and 416 Nm of torque, and a GLS powered by a SmartStream G2.0 1999cc gasoline engine, putting out 156 PS and 192 Nm of torque. The diesel engine is mated to an 8-speed shift-by-wire automatic transmission with a GLS Plus getting paddle shifters. The gasoline variant comes with a 6-speed automatic transmission. The Hyundai Tucson rides on a suspension featuring the now common front McPherson struts rear multi-link combo. With this, wide comfort and handling compares well against the competition in the compact SUV segment. The brake system gets 16-inch discs on all 4 wheels, ventilated in front, which can compare better than well against the competition, some of which still use drums in the rear. Anti-lock braking system and electronic stability control help keep driver in control, especially in inclement weather and slippery road conditions, or from mistakes from aggressive driving. Hyundai has also equipped the Tucson at least for local release downhill brake control, hill start assist control, trailer stability assist, manual speed limiter, tire pressure monitoring system, and immobilizer. parking is helped along by rear view monitor with dynamic guidance in front and rear parking distance warning. Standard for safety are 6 airbags, child safety rear door locking, anchors for child seat, and electrochromic rear view mirror.
Hyundai priced the latest generation Tucson at 1.57 million pesos for the 2.0 GLS automatic transmission and 1.840 million pesos for the 2.0 GLS Plus automatic transmission. Will you spring more for diesel? That's our featured vehicle in this week's showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantee.
At the core of Toyota Gazoo racing lies motorsports DNA. Combine that with the Philippines' best-selling sedan, you get the Vios GRS. Its black accent details and aero kit upgrade capture the feel and excitement on the track, and the 10-speed CVT that exudes the TGR competitive spirit. On the road or on the track, always be ready for a heart-racing, exhilarating ride. The Vios GRS. Bring on the thrill.
The new Mitsubishi Expander Cross. Cross the current.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. The auto industry takes center stage.
Aboitiz Power Corporation, a company that is into the generation and distribution of electricity, has acquired BYD electric vans for use as service vehicles. The EV vans will be deployed to 3 Aboitiz Power Distribution Utilities or DUs, Visayan Electric, Davao Light, and Cotabato Light. The acquisition of the BYD vehicles is part of Aboitiz Power's Fleet Corporate Electric Vehicle Fleet Transformation Program.
This is the start of a launch, as mentioned earlier, and hopefully long partnership with BYD to electrify our service vehicles. Right now we have 4 that we've purchased, but our ultimate plan is to get up to 30% by 2030 and 40% by 2040.
The Aboitiz Power Fleet Transformation Program supports Republic Act 11697 or the Electric Vehicle Industry Development Act or EVIDA, which mandates industrial and commercial companies to have EVs comprise at least 5% of their motorized fleets. Aboitiz Power has chosen to partner with BYD in this transformation program.
We went with BYD. I think that they have today the best option as far as service vehicles are concerned for EVs. No? And then we're looking beyond service vehicles, maybe in the future, our service trucks, basket trucks. That's the next goal to transform to electric vehicles.
We chose BYD because this van meets the specifications that we need for our service vehicles.
Buoyed by the success of the launch of the Grand Before service activity held at the Festival Mall in Alabang, Hyundai Motor Philippines wants to share its benefits to Hyundai vehicle owners in Davao and Cebu. The GBSA is an integral part of the Hyundai Mobility Experience Tour with stops in Davao and Cebu this September. According to Cecil Capacete, Hyundai Philippines Managing Director, the brand is excited by the company's first major activations as HMPH in the cities of Davao and Cebu, which are core markets for the brand. The Hyundai Mobility Experience showcases the brand's local lineup, the Creta, Stargazer, Starya, and Tucson, as well as Ioniq 5, all of which will be available for test drives. Visitors also get to view up close the Ioniq 6 and discover the model's trademark vehicle-to-load or V2L functionality, which powers the cafe serving free hot or cold beverages at venue. Meanwhile, the GBSA offers free 23-point car checkup with disinfection for Hyundai vehicles as well as other brands. Appointments can be booked at the Hyundai Mobility Experience events or directly with authorized Hyundai dealerships. The Hyundai Mobility Experience made a stop at the SM Lanang Premier in Davao from September 8 to 10 before heading to SM City Seaside in Cebu on September 29 to October 1. Velocita Motors Incorporated, or VMI, a unit under conglomerate San Miguel Corporation, is now the authorized importer and distributor of Ferrari cars in the Philippines. Dijer Necto, president of Ferrari Far East and Middle East, said the partnership with Velocita Motors is a milestone in the history of Ferrari in the Philippines, a market that is important to the future growth of Ferrari in the region. Velocita Motors chairman and president Ramon S. Ang expressed excitement over becoming the official distributor of Ferrari. The partnership benefits our Filipino workforce, who will be exposed to the highest levels of engineering, performance, design, quality, and customer service, said Ang, who is also SMC president and CEO. VMI has opened a temporary Ferrari showroom along EDSA that showcases the 296 GTB and the Puro Sangue V12 SUV. The temporary showroom can do maintenance and repair work using Ferrari-approved equipment. This Ferrari PH flagship building will feature an expansive showroom and full-service facilities.
And that's the week that was in motoring. Thank you for joining us. Also, don't forget to check us out on social media.
Until next week here on Motoring Today, now on its 37th year of continuing service to the general motoring public with a lifelong commitment to promote road safety. On behalf of our dad, Butch Gamboa, I'm Ray Louie Gamboa.
And I'm Tin Gamboa.
Happy motoring!